Hello world, welcome to yet another episode of NetMother Tech Academy. Today we are going to do a pie game. We are going to continue the Hangman game that we did in a previous video. We did the previous game with Turtle Library. This time we are going to do with PyGame. If you have not seen the previous video, please do see the PyGame, the Turtle version of Hangman before you continue watching here. So I'll attach the video link and the source code in the description. In our last video, we made hangman.py class, and this is how the class looked. So we had the initialization pick a word and check word functions. I have created a new PyGame, and this is the default code that gets generated automatically by Replit. Very handy. So now let's see what we can do to make this game into a pie game instead of a turtle game. If you remember in turtle game, we had a turtle draw all the hangman for us. For pie game, what we are going to do is we are going to import few images, and these images are going to be the hangman for us based on which stage of the game we are at. And for our hangman class to work, we need words.txt. So let's create words.txt. All these details have been explained in the previous video. So words.txt is nothing but a simple list of words for us to pick one randomly. Perfect. So right now, if we run it, all we would see is a simple blank screen. Let's start by importing Hangman class in here. Hangman. And what we have to do is to create an object for this Hangman class, and we have to call the pick a word function, so a word will get picked automatically. So let's make an object for Hangman class, and let's call the function pick a word. Okay, so now let's stop and run it. So so what are we missing here is we have to use the import name plus the class name. Okay, good. So what has happened now is we have picked a word. Actually, the pick a word function gets called automatically in init, so we don't have to do it. Just to verify, we can probably print the word list and the guest list and make sure everything is working. So word list, comma, guest list. So let's print these two variables and see if everything is fine. Okay, yeah. So laptop was the word that was picked up randomly. And here is the guest list where we will play the game. Okay, let's start doing the UI now. Let me fix the spacing just like the way I like it. So I'm gonna use the surface here. So that's the surface. Let's fill it with white for now. Make sure everything is working. Let's make a clock. It's always a good idea to have a clock. So we can do clock dot tick and pass the frame rate. What's missing here now is that our time has to be small by game.time. Okay, good. So first things first, let's do the draw hangman function similar to what we did in the previous video. So draw hangman, we would pass the stage that we are at, and based on that the particular picture has to be picked up. So let's make the image variable and let's do pygame dot image dot load. So it'll be the str version of the input parameter stage plus dot png, and let's also transform it to the image to fit into our window. Let's go with a width of 150 and a height of 200. And finally, what do we have to do is we have to blit it onto the surface, and let's just blit it at 0, 0, and let's see if everything works. So I'm gonna call the draw hangman function and pass the stage as 0. Let's see. Dot blot blit. Okay, good. Everything seems to be working. If I change the value, I should see the new image. Okay, perfect. So now instead of passing the stage here, we will use our variable from the hangman, which keeps our guess count. So this is the variable we need. So hangman dot guess count. So that way now we have our hangman. Now all we have to do is to draw the word onto the screen. So for this we need the font. So let's make the font. So font is equal to pygame dot font. Let's just use the sys font and let's go with Arial. And we need a size. Let's go the default size. Bold is false and italic is also false. So now that we have the font, all we have to do is font.render. Let's render the text. Type your guess and let's catch it in a text surface. And we also have to pass a false here. Now all that is remaining is to split it into our display surface. So display surface dot split text surface, and let's go ahead and split it a little further. So now let's try this. So we need to call the function. So let's call the function here, draw word. So there is an error in line number 17. We also need to pass the color of our text. Let's go with black. Okay, good. So we are able to see our text. All is fine till now. Now we need a way for the user to type his guess. So that means we need to interact with the event. So let's go ahead and pick a event. Elif event dot type is equal to pygame dot key up. So what we need is this event to kick in only when the user types a proper alphabet A to Z. So let's check if everything is working. So we want event.unicode, and we also want to check if the string version of event.unicode is alphabet or not. So let's see if this works. So now if I type A, I get A true because A is alphabet. So, but if I type a number, then it says false. So all we need is this one. This has to be true. So if this is true, what do we have to do? In Hangman, we have our check word. So all we have to do is call this function and pass the guess, which is going to be the string version of whatever key that was pressed. So now let's see if everything works. So I know here, since I'm printing it here, the word is replet. I'll try to type R. So nothing seems to happen. Okay, so something is happening. That's good. Oh, okay. For every wrong guess that I do, my hangman is growing, which is good. For every right guess that I do, my hangman doesn't grow, which is expected. So to make this better, we need to see the status of the game. So let's go to our hangman class and let's write one more function in here. So game status. So at any point, if my self dot guess list, which has the current game, and the count of slashes is 0, that means I have actually guessed all the letters. So I won the game. So let me just go ahead and return 1. If at any point, if my guess count becomes equal to 8, that means I've lost the game. I've exhausted all my guesses. So I don't have to do self here. No, I do have to do self, but I have to put self here. Okay. But if it's not either of these two, then the game can continue. So let's just return 0. And let's use this function before we check the guess. So if self dot game status is actually not equal to 0, meaning that you have won or lost, then I'm just gonna return false here. I don't want to proceed and check the guess. Okay, that's good. So now that we have the game status, here we can call the function status hm dot game status, and let's try and use that one here. So if status is 0, then we can say type your guess. And if status is 1, then you have actually won the game. So let's say you win. And the other option is you lose. So all that is done. Now let's check it. So netmaten is the word. So I'm going to start guessing. I'm going to do correct guesses and PMATA. Oh, sorry, I should not type here. I should click here and then. So it says win. So let's stop and run this one more time. Python is the word. I'm going to make all wrong guesses. So I should see my hangman is growing. And also it says you've lost. Perfect. Good. And if you see, we see an error here because 8.png does not exist. So here we have to check if stage at any point goes greater than 7. We gotta bring it back to 7 because there is no 8 anywhere. Okay, that's a good catch. Now we also want to write the guess list in here. So our word is empty, we can loop in our hm dot guess list. So variable, our word will be word less g plus couple of spaces. So now I have the word that I need to write. All I have to do is make a text surface and word, and I just have to blit it onto the screen. So let me blit it a little below the message. So now if we run it, and here is our guest list, and our word is programming. So type your guess. I type P, I type M, and we see both the M's have been coming up. Now let me type a wrong guess U. I see my hangman is growing. There is only one more thing left to do. We want to do the same thing here, but for the past guesses. And we will do this a little bit below. So now if I stop and run it, I will also see all my guesses here. So Q, W, E, T, R. And that way I will be able to play the game completely. Okay, you win. Perfect. Now, if I win or lose, I want to restart the game. So let's go ahead and make a function in our class called restart game. And all we have to do is call the init function in here, whatever does the init function does. So we'll just copy this and do this. So that way the whole game will get reset. Sorry about that. So now we need a way to restart the game. So let's say hit escape to start. So let's do that here as well. So here let's do a else statement. Else if event dot key is equal to pygame dot key underscore escape. Yeah, that's the key we want. We will just do hm dot restart game. So now let's stop and run this one more time. So the word is netmaden, and okay, so we win, hit escape to restart. Let's try to hit escape. Perfect, the game has restarted. And now I actually don't know what is the word that we have to guess. Yeah, so Python is the word. Okay, let's try to lose the game to check the other scenario. You lose, hit escape to restart, escape, and then a new word gets picked up. Awesome. So that is all that we wanted to do. So we started by building this Hangman game, and we played it in the console. Then we made a turtle UI for it, and in this video we have made a PyGame UI for the same Hangman. Okay. Hopefully you all learned something new from the video. Thank you for joining. See you in the next video. Bye world.